Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome and great to have you in the session on the SAP Community YouTube channel. Today, we will address the complexity of navigating regulatory requirements, especially as more organization is in the transition to the cloud. Staying on top of compliance and regulatory demands is vital, and we will explore how SAP can assist you with these challenges in today's session. I'm pleased to have a great team of experts with me today, and we have Amit Koul, we have Juliane Wallberg, we have Ann-Cathrin Weber, and we have Ahsan Shakoor, who will introduce themselves during the presentation. My name is Larissa Brinkman from the SAP User Groups organization, and I'm your host. Please feel free to post your questions in the YouTube live chat, and we will address them after the presentation. Please note, in order to post a question in the live chat, you need to be signed in on YouTube. So make sure this is the case. And now let's get started. And over to you, Amit.
Thank you, Larissa. A very warm welcome to everyone joining us from around the globe. I'm Amit Koul, and I have been with SAP for the last 3 years, currently working as the Program Manager for Security and Compliance, with close to 20 years of experience in regulatory compliance and risk. I have seen the regulatory world evolve from compliance checkpoint to becoming a strategic cornerstone of digital trust and operational resilience. It is a privilege to open today's discussion on navigating the global regulatory landscape, a topic that connects us all, regardless of geography or industry. Before we begin, just a quick disclaimer, the content in this presentation is shared for informational purpose only. Regulations are faster than ever, from digital resilience to data protection, reshaping how organizations build trust. Our goal today is to explore not just how to comply, but how to adapt and thrive in this new era of accountability and transparency. Now that we have set the context on why navigating the regulatory landscape is more critical than ever, let me take a moment to walk you through today's agenda. We will begin looking at the SAP's navigating regulatory landscape, SAP Cloud Compliance Strategy and Governance, Compliance Frameworks, and then run down a demo of the MyTrust Center. Compliance protects data, trust protects business. Compliance is about following defined standards and controls, ensuring data is protected, systems are audited, and processes are secure. Trust, however, is what customers, partners, and regulators place in an organization when they believe compliance isn't just a checkbox, but part of the culture. In a cloud-first world where data flows across borders, systems, and service providers, trust becomes the true differentiator. It's what allows organizations to innovate confidentially, operate securely, and sustain long-term relationships. At SAP, compliance is not just a regulatory checkbox, it is a strategic enabler. Our certification programs bring together global standards, independent audits, and industry best practices to give our customers confidence, transparency, and assurance that SAP Cloud Service meet the highest level of security and compliance. And the benefits extend far from beyond compliance only. First, it delivers a competitive advantage by ensuring our products are already certified against major global frameworks, enabling customers to accelerate their own compliance journey. Secondly, it strengthens proactive security. Every certification framework reinforces key security controls from access management to incident response, meaning compliance also drives continuous security improvements. When we look at SAP's compliance journey, one thing becomes clear: growth has been both deep and broad. This slide represents the breadth of frameworks and certifications that SAP Cloud Services align with across regions, industries, and regulatory domains. What begins with the foundational standards like ISO and SOC has evolved into a truly global compliance ecosystem. From ISO standards to regional frameworks like FedRAMP in the US, IRAP in the Australia, industry-specific certifications like the PCI DSS, CERTS, SAP aligns with local regulatory expectations. Now let us look at ISO 42001, which is the world's first international standard for AI management systems. The goal of this standard is to provide organizations with a structured framework to develop, deploy, and govern AI systems responsibly, ensuring that these systems are safe, ethical, and trustworthy. The frameworks focus on four core objectives: building trust in AI technologies, aligning with global best practices, ensuring compliance with emerging AI regulations, and fostering responsible innovation. ISO 42000 is built around three key dimensions: technical, ethical, and risk management aspects. Overall, ISO 42001 sets a strong foundation for responsible AI governance, bringing together ethics, compliance, and technology under a single management system aligned with SAP Trust Transparency Principle. For SAP, it helps demonstrate responsible AI practice. While SAP has a strong foundation through its cloud compliance certification programs, it is important to recognize that achieving and maintaining compliance in the cloud is not without its challenges. Corporate culture, budget and resources, emerging technology trends, data and cybersecurity, regulatory changes, and focus on sovereignty all are significant considerations. At SAP, we view these challenges not as the roadblocks, but as drivers of continuous improvement. Our team remains confident, knowledgeable, and flexible, ensuring that our cloud services not only meet today's standard, but are ready for tomorrow's expectations as well. Compliance at SAP doesn't end once certification is achieved. In fact, that's why the real work begins. At SAP, maintaining cloud compliance is a continuous, evolving year-round process, anchored by strong operational controls. These controls ensure that every product and service consistently meets regulatory and customer expectations long after the initial audit. Compliance is achieved through a combination of documented procedures, security controls, and governance practices that are aligned with each certification framework requirements. Key control areas like secure software development, access controls, segregation of duties, penetration testing, vulnerability management, etc. In today's environment, regulations and customer expectations are changing faster than ever, from new frameworks like DORA and NIS2 to evolving data privacy and sovereignty requirements. SAP has built a structured process to ensure we can quickly adapt systematically and transparently. This process starts with unpacking the requirements, performing the gap analysis, leveraging existing tools and frameworks, and collaborating with partners. When we talk about compliance, it's easy to think first about frameworks, controls, or audits, but in reality, relationships and engagements are what makes it all work. Achieving and maintaining cloud compliance requires strong coordination across multiple teams, both internal and external stakeholders that are collaborative, must be consistent, transparent, and well-structured. At SAP, understanding the requirements, communicating early and often, and planning for engagements are critical components of our compliance efforts. After discussing the challenges and the importance of collaboration, let me now look at how SAP has optimized its approach to compliance, making it more efficient, transparent, and scalable across our global cloud portfolios. This optimization includes a consolidated common controls framework, common controls testing, and optimized engagement approach. An example of this optimization is our partnership with Collaborative Cloud Audit Group. This collaboration significantly reduced cost and effort while enhancing transparency and trust. We had the pooled audits for our few customers over here in Europe. As we continue to evolve our compliance programs, SAP focus has been on optimizing at the program level, building on efficiencies we discussed to drive broader impact across our ecosystem. This includes vendor management, consolidated control framework, cross-pollination of best practices, and expanded partnership with industry consortiums like CCAG, customers, and regulators. The typical example of cross-pollination over here is we leverage from one audit to the other. As if we identify one gap in one audit, that becomes the best practices in the other audit. Now let's talk about the shared responsibility model. One of the most important concepts in cloud compliance is the shared responsibility model. This model defines how accountability is distributed between cloud service providers and customers for maintaining the security, compliance, and data integrity across various service models, be it as, PaaS, or SaaS service. The security provider is responsible for the security of the cloud, including infrastructure, physical security, and platform resilience. The customer is responsible for the security in the cloud, ensuring proper configuration, data protection, identity and access management, and compliance with internal governance and regulatory obligations. The typical example of it would be, say, if we have to patch the APIs, we have a delineation of responsibility outlined that who will patch, if it's a SaaS model, who will patch the APIs, and who will patch the hypervisor layer. Now the question, are SAP products certified compliant with current standards? The short answer is yes. We continuously invest in maintaining and expanding our compliance portfolio to ensure our customers can operate securely, confidently, and in line with the latest global regulations. First, we provide confidence for critical processes and data. Our certifications and controls are designed to minimize both security and compliance risks, giving customers assurance that their most operations run on a secured, validated platform. Second, SAP acts as a trusted partner. Compliance at SAP isn't just about meeting today's requirements, it's about anticipating tomorrow's as well. We actively align with evolving frameworks like DORA and IS2, ISO 22001, PCI DSS, and others to stay ahead of regulatory expectations. Conclusion, in essence, compliance at SAP is not just a checkbox, it's a commitment to continuous assurance, transparency, and trust. With that, I will hand it over to Juliane Wallberg, who will take us deep into cloud compliance strategy and governance. Thank you.
Thanks, Amit, for the great overview of our cloud compliance certification program. Hello, everyone. My name is Juliane Wallberg, and I've spent the past 6 years at SAP as an information security compliance architect, driving and supporting strategic initiatives across our security and compliance programs. So I'd like to zoom out now a little bit and show how we are approaching cloud compliance end to end, and what that means for you or for our customers. At the core of our strategy are actually 2 initiatives designed to make compliance simpler, more transparent, and also more scalable. The first initiative is the management system consolidation. In mid-2025, we introduced the SAP Central Cloud Services, or CCS, audit report. And CCS brings together the shared central services that support our SAP cloud offerings. So think infrastructure and platform services, plus central functions like HR security or also IT client endpoint management. What this actually means for you is that in addition to the product-specific audit reports, eligible customers now also receive the CCS report. So you can assess the shared controls or environment once, and instead of repeatedly across multiple reports. The second initiative is the control framework harmonization. Here we are standardizing the control designs across our cloud portfolio for common standards. So for example, ISO, SOC, and also C5. And the goal is a single consistent set of reference controls that map across services. And again, what does this mean for you is that you will see updates to control wordings and IDs also in audit reports as we continue to harmonize, along with clear mappings to the relevant standards. So third-party risk reviews actually become also more faster and consistent. Yeah, so this strategy actually aligns directly with our product company direction, which is the AI first and speed first strategy. And practically that actually means we are building compliance into our AI services from the start and also align it to emerging AI regulations and standards, as also Amit already introduced. We are driving consistency and consolidation across the solutions, so controls and responsibilities are represented the same way wherever possible. Yeah, there are also a few forces that are shaping our roadmap. First, we must ensure continuous delivery of our new cloud services that need to be covered by our compliance program. Further, we must also efficiently manage the growing set of obligations, so both mandatory, so for example, new regulations like the EU AI Act, and also discretionary topics. So for example, as we also said already, the ISO 42001 or also ISO 27701. Of course, we also strive to fulfill customer and market expectations, especially around AI assurance and industry-specific needs. For you, the outcomes are straightforward. First is scalability. You as customers need to perform fewer duplicate reviews thanks to a consolidated central report and harmonized controls. Second, transparency. We provide a clearer view of the shared services, dependencies, and responsibilities across SAP Cloud solutions. And third, consistency. The same control language and mappings are used across standards, making it easier for you to reuse compliance assessments. Yeah, so what to expect next? The CCS report will accompany your regular audit packages for eligible services. Then audit reports may also show more frequent control updates as we harmonize continuously. So look for the overview of changes in the respective sections of the audit reports. And moreover, compliance coverage will continue to expand as new services launch and new obligations come into scope. Yeah, so to sum it up, our goal is a compliance posture that scales with your business, is transparent by design, and is represented consistently across the cloud services you use. Yeah, so with that, I would like to hand over to my colleague.
Thank you, Juliane. My name is Ann-Cathrin Weber, and I've been with SAP for nearly 5 years, working in the role of information security compliance expert, and most recently as a lead of our compliance offering distribution process. The next few minutes will be an introduction, or for some of you, perhaps a review of our channels that we have available for you to obtain our compliance documents. As of today, we offer 2 main channels. That is one, the compliance section on the SAP Trust Center. And starting June of 2025, so this year, we also offer the compliance documents finder via SAP for Me. And we will be taking a look at both of these channels on the next few slides. Starting off with the established way of obtaining compliance documents, the SAP Trust Center. The compliance section is really the central hub for all externally relevant compliance documents. That includes our ISO certificates, regionally relevant certifications or attestations, links to white papers, and much more. We also, as you can see on the screen here, use this overview page to highlight any new developments or additions to our portfolio. The Compliance Finder is a subpage of this section and will show all available compliance documents. As this is a long list of documents, we do recommend that you use the available filters to narrow down the list of results. SAP categorizes the documents into one of 2 categories, public or gated. And while you can view and download the public documents without any restrictions, the gated documents must be requested and are subject to additional validation before they can be shared. Requesting the gated documents is simple though. Every page of a gated document will include a request button at the bottom of its page. The mandatory fields are marked, but to avoid any delays in processing, you want to make sure that you're using the correct customer ID and to include the correct account executive or customer success manager in the SAP context field. As a general guideline, expect processing to take 3 to 5 days. This will, however, vary depending on the volumes of requests that we receive, and most of the time, this is much quicker. If you're ever in doubt about your request, we do encourage you to reach out to the named SAP contact who will be able to follow up on the status of the request. Upon successful validation, we will of course receive the compliance document via the email that you have provided. In June this year, the Compliance Documents Finder feature went live in SAP for Me. We expect this to be a big improvement in the customer experience of obtaining our compliance documents, because this feature will show a customer all compliance documents they are eligible to receive. Manual requests or searching for documents on the SAP Trust Center therefore become obsolete, and you have that single source of truth. To access the feature, you need an S user and a dedicated authorization, which your company's super administrator is in charge of assigning. Using this feature will eliminate wait times and provide you with an overview of everything that you should be seeing. The Compliance Documents Finder being featured in SAP for Me means you can leverage the SAP for Me support team, and this ensures that your questions will be answered hopefully with very little delay. So I thank you, and I will hand over to my colleague.
Thank you very much, Anne. So hi everyone, my name is Ahsan. I am with SAP for about 6 years. I'm a part of SAP Customer Trust Office working as a project manager. I'm going to explain you about My Trust Center, how to get there, what kind of content you can find in the SAP My Trust Center. So SAP Trust Center is the SAP public-facing platform that provides centralized, transparent access to all trust-related content for SAP Cloud Services. When you scroll down on that page, you will find the link to SAP My Trust Center. SAP My Trust Center is an extended version of the public SAP Trust Center, specifically designed for customers and partners under NDA. It provides detailed technical content, security measures, compliance documents, and other resources that are not available on the public platform. SAP My Trust Center is governed by a structured content lifecycle. All the documents are reviewed by legal and branding team prior to publication. This ensures that the documents are accurate and brand consistent, legal and regulatory compliance is met, timely updates and retirements of outdated content is happening. On the left side of the slide, you can see some key features of SAP My Trust Center. It is exclusive for SAP customers and partners with valid SAP S user ID. Only they can access the content on My Trust Center. Users can subscribe to various resources to receive email notifications about changes and updates. For example, audit reports, certification, white papers, sub-processor lists, and other content. My Trust Center includes detailed documentation on security and data protection measures, compliance reviews, audits, and technical and organizational measures implemented by SAP. SAP My Trust Center consists of different sections. In the news section, which is a dynamic notification and update hub designed to keep users informed about important changes of documents, compliance updates, and security-related content. For example, you can find performance period updates for Socket C5 reports. We have recently posted Socket C5 performance calendar for the fiscal year 2026. In the policies, frameworks, and technical and organizational measures section, customers can browse through documents that SAP has implemented to protect our customers' data using SAP solutions. Customers can also find documents that describe SAP security controls and measures, as well as details about SAP's global security policy. A sub-processor is an SAP affiliate or third party who has been brought in by SAP that processes personal data on behalf of SAP and SAP customers. This section of SAP My Trust Center includes a list of sub-processors and how to find them in various SAP services. The tools and information section, customers can find reference guides, case studies, and service and support documents detailing security and data protection and privacy for SAP products. The documents span a variety of topics, including global security, cloud services, compliance, and strategy documents and different LOB-specific documents. Financial services subcontractors are third-party providers that SAP relies on to deliver services to its financial services customers. These subcontractors are considered critical because any disruption in their services could impact SAP's ability to deliver to its financial services clients. The digital resources enablement session includes video enablement session and other digital resources. For example, there's a brief video guide to understand the SOC report. There's a comprehensive video about what you can find in a central cloud services report. We are building more and more content related to a customer enablement. The content is not only security and compliance related, but also related to different line of business. For example, SAP Concur, Human Capital Management, and DORA. With that, I will give back to our host, Ahsan.
All right. This was really a great presentation. I can see a lot of questions in the chat, but before we start with the Q&A part, big kudos to the experts team for all the insights, clarity, and well-structured presentation. So let me start with the first question. How is SAP Cloud compliant with sovereign requirements of various countries?
Let me take that question. So for the sovereign requirements, we build our solutions with the principle of data residency and data sovereignty, keeping this in mind, so that the data resides in the same geography, like we keep into considerations, like we have GDPR requirements, we have the Canadian sovereignty cloud requirements, we are pursuing the Canadian goods program, where we can't move the data from that region to the other. So that is the base, that stands as the basis, the principal founding stone of our data sovereignty, that data residency is the key, and we have the solutions across the globe, like we have in EU region, the sovereign cloud solutions available, we have in ANZ, and we have in the North Americas region as well. So that is how, keeping these two principles in the mind, data sovereignty and data residency as the key components. And then we align it along with the various industry certification programs. First, we undergo the ISO, the SOC certifications. Then if it is Canadian sovereignty, it is ITHE 33. If it is ANZ, we go with the local law of the land to align our solutions with the local regulatory requirements.
All right. The next question is, how is SAP positioned with respect to other technologies and competitors?
SAP is positioned very well with the competitors, with the competition. We do the thorough due diligence of the various industry certifications and the evolving requirements. In one of my previous slides, I have mentioned about like what are the various certifications we undergo: the TISAX for the automotive industry, the GXP, the PCI DSS. We undergo the SOC certifications, HIPAA, SOX, ISO 27001. Even in AI, we have achieved 42001 for our AI solutions. So that's how we are making SAP as a differentiating factor, and we are ahead of the game. And as the requirements, challenges evolve, or how the solutions, whatever the technologies evolve, we also keep on evolving ourselves.
Yeah, maybe let me add also that, as also mentioned, there are a lot of obligations coming towards us as a cloud provider, but in general also for different industry and customers are, I think, affected in the same way. So we have a process that evaluates, assesses, and prioritizes all the different obligations that are coming in. So we also always try or are aware and try to fulfill all these obligations in a manner as I guess also competitors are faced or have the same challenges.
All right, thank you for that. As I've already mentioned, we have a lot of positive feedback in the chat about the structure and clarity of the presentation. And there are a couple of questions that goes in the direction, how is SAP meeting compliance for banking and financial sector?
Let me take that. As I mentioned, we undergo the PCI DSS attestations for the various line of businesses as the requirements evolve. And lately in the financial sector, we have undergone the DORA, successfully achieved the DORA for the financial regulatory requirements. And as and when whichever requirement, as we evolve across the region, if it is any regulatory requirement, we meet those obligations. As of now, what is coming to my mind, like DORA is coming to my mind, PCI DSS is coming to my mind from the payment industry standpoint.
All right, thank you for that. Then there is an explicit comment. Thanks for sharing the info related to cloud controls and compliance and how SAP is approaching towards that. This was explicitly mentioned. There is one more question asking, what are the achievements of SAP all over the world? I assume the achievements with this adherence to the compliance rules.
Let me take that, Larissa. So I will let others to pitch in as well. Regarding the achievements, SAP solutions are designed to comply with various industry-specific standards, like PCI DSS for payment data security, HIPAA for healthcare and data protection, GXP, GDPR, ISO 27001, ISO 27017 for information security and business continuity. From the compliance standpoint, SAP stands out as a trusted global technology provider. We align our solutions so that we are compliant with the various industry and the regional standards.
All right, thank you for that. There is one more question on how does compliance differ between on-prem SAP systems and SAP Cloud?
So for on-prem solutions, as I mentioned in one of my slides, the SAP responsibility matrix. So we can draw the inference from that only, like the physical controls. If we have something related to the data center or so, for maintaining the on-prem requirements, like when it comes to physical security and keeping into the aware that we don't have any interference like that. We don't have any rogue wireless coming in. How our physical security is built around, like it involves not many things like security cameras, with how visiting processes, like if there is a vendor visiting our facility, if there is a guest visiting our facility, how we are degauging the data, how we are disposing of the data. So it's all baked into the delineation, the responsibility matrix. Now, since in the current world, we have the hybrid solutions, maybe, and we are even having the SAP's own cloud as well, SAP owned data centers as well. So in a nutshell, so we have to, if the question is what is for the on-prem solutions, it is how we are ensuring who is responsible for maintaining and adhering to the controls related to on-prem solutions. And for cloud, it is what service model we are using. Is it PaaS, as or SaaS? Accordingly, then those responsibilities are defined before signing the contract in the sense before going on an active engagement with the customer.
All right, thank you for that. As I've already mentioned, again, there are more positive feedback and kudos and thumbs up in the chat. So anyway, great feedback to the experts team on the topic that was presented today. As someone might have one or two questions, and we give a bit a minute to post them in the chat. Just a short comment from my side. The PDF of this presentation will be included in the description to this video and will be available shortly after the stream is finished. And maybe I can't see more questions in the chat, but before we wrap it up, maybe one more question from my side. This is kind of higher level questions. What was the recent regulatory change that most impacted cloud compliance in today's environment?
Okay, so let me take that, or you would like to take, Julian?
No worries, you can go.
Okay. So lately it was NIS to widens its like cloud service, as I said, NATO includes cloud service providers, bar on the risk management, the supply chain security, and incident response reporting. And the second was that DORA went live this year in January for the financial sector with the stricter requirements on information communication, ICT, risk and resilience testing. And there was a change in the PCI standards as well. PCI DSS also changed this standard to 4.0.1, which included lot many changes in the requirements. Like if we are doing SAQ, SAQ has different requirements now, SAQ D, SAQ A, SAQ EIP. The same for the cloud scoping, segmentation, multi-factor authentication, and targeted risk analysis. And ISO 27001 also transitioned its controls around the threat intelligence and cloud services. The EU Data Act is coming to my mind. So these are the recent regulatory changes which is coming to my mind. There might be more as we talk. So that's what is coming to my mind right now. DORA, PCI DSS, and IS2.
All right. So I can't see more questions in the chat, and I assume the information was clear enough. I can only thank you, our expert team, Amit, Juliana, Ann-Cathrin, and Ahsan. Great to have you in this session today. And thank you for sharing all the insights. And of course, big thank you to our audience for being with us, for being so active, sharing your feedback, giving all this positive feedback and stating your questions. There will be more streams coming up on SAP Community YouTube channel, so please stay tuned and I might welcome you in one of our upcoming sessions. And with this, I would like to thank you everyone, to wish you a great day and hopefully see you soon. With this, thank you very much and bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.